Michael Landon was Hollywood's golden boy, with fame, money, and a picture-perfect family. But behind the scenes, his life took a tragic turn that no one knew about. His shocking death, leaving behind an empty mansion and a huge fortune, still raises questions about what really happened. The truth will shock you. When it comes to Michael Landon, fans are most interested in his personal life, not his career. During his life, Landon was married 3 times and had 9 children, whom he loved very much. Despite his fame and success, Landon put a lot of value on his role as a husband and father, even though his relationships weren't always easy. His first marriage was to Dodie Levy Fraser in 1956, and they had 2 children together. Their first son, Mark, was Dodd's biological son from a previous relationship, and Landon legally adopted him. They later adopted another son, Josh, as an infant, but despite trying to start a family together, they got divorced in 1962. Soon after his first marriage ended, Landon met and married his second wife, Marjorie Lynn Noy, in 1963. Their marriage lasted almost 20 years and had 5 children. Lynn had a daughter, Cheryl, from a previous marriage, whom Landon raised as his own. Together, they had 4 more children: Leslie, Michael Jr., Shauna, and Christopher. His growing family was clear, and he often talked about how happy he was to be a father. However, his marriage to Lynn ended in 1982 after almost 19 years together. After his divorce from Noy, Landon found love again with Cindy Clerico, a makeup artist he met on the set of Little House on the Prairie. They married in 1983 and stayed together until Landon's death. They had 2 children together, Jennifer and Sean, making Landon's total number of children 9. Cindy was by his side during his last days. Friends and family were always there for Landon as he went through one of the hardest times of his life. Throughout his life, Landon was honest about his problems with smoking and drinking. He admitted to being a chain smoker, a habit he kept up for most of his adult life, and he also admitted to drinking heavily as a way to deal with the stress of his career. Even though he was a beloved figure in Hollywood, he had personal flaws that may have led to his health getting worse. Later in life, in early 1991, Landon's health took a terrible turn when he went to the doctor with a severe headache and was told he had an aggressive form of pancreatic cancer that had already spread widely, making it impossible to treat and fatal. Despite this terrible news, Landon dealt with his diagnosis with incredible strength and resilience. He went public with his illness, including an emotional interview with Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show, where he talked openly about his battle with cancer. And his determination to stay positive even as it got worse. Landon spent his last weeks at his home in Malibu with his family. On July 1, 1991, at the age of 54, he died, leaving behind an amazing legacy in television and in the hearts of those who loved him. Fans, friends, and coworkers who had admired his talent, warmth, and contributions to entertainment mourned his death. Landon was buried in a private family mausoleum at Hillside Memorial Park Cemetery in Culver City, California. His grave is a tribute to a man who made millions of people happy and inspired them through his work on Bonanza, Little House on the Prairie, and Highway to Heaven. Even though he died too soon, Michael Landon's influence lives on through his films, TV shows, and the love of his family. Michael Landon not only left behind a great legacy in television, but he also built up an impressive real estate portfolio that showed his success and love for luxurious yet private living spaces. Over the years, he bought several homes in Malibu and Malibu Canyon, each one serving as a retreat for him and his family. His real estate investments have since gone up in value, and some of his old homes are now highly sought-after estates. One of Landon's most famous homes was a 7-bedroom mansion in Malibu, which had 70 feet of ocean frontage and was in one of the most exclusive areas of Malibu. It was a symbol of his success and offered breathtaking views. In 1989, Landon sold the mansion for $6 million, which is about the same as $11 million today when prices are adjusted for inflation. Years later, the property underwent major renovations and upgrades. In 2014, the updated version of Landon's former home was put on the market and sold for an amazing $40 million, showing how much Malibu real estate has appreciated over the years. In addition to his beachfront mansion, Landon also owned a large estate in Malibu Canyon. The second property, an equestrian compound with a 9,000 square foot home surrounded by acres of land good for horseback riding and other outdoor activities, was much more private and met his need for privacy away from the spotlight compared to the oceanfront mansion. The property is still owned by Landon's family and serves as a peaceful retreat for his surviving family members beyond his personal residences. Landon was also involved in real estate philanthropy in the 1970s, when he and his Bonanza co-star in 1979, Lauren Green and another actor bought a large undeveloped beachfront parcel in Malibu. Instead of developing the land for commercial or residential use, the two actors made the important decision to donate the land to the state of California. They did this with the condition that it be kept as a public beach in honor of their late Bonanza co-star Dan Blocker, who died in 1972. Today, this land is known as Dan Blocker Beach. In 1995, the state of California transferred the beach along with several adjacent parcels to the county of Los Angeles to keep its public access. Even after Michael Landon died, his family continued to make big real estate deals. In 2015, his widow Cindy Landon paid $7 million for a mansion above Malibu's Broad Beach. $5 million, she did a lot of work on the house and turned it into a modern and luxurious retreat. 3 years later, in 2018, she put the house on the market for $18 million, hoping to find a buyer who would appreciate its design and location. The house didn't sell, so Cindy rented it out for an impressive $100,000 a month. Finally, in 2019, Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy, bought the house for $15 million. $7 million, Michael Landon's real estate investments and charitable donations have left a lasting impact. His properties not only provided his family with a luxurious lifestyle, but they also helped protect California's natural beauty. His foresight in buying properties and his kindness in giving land away show how important he is to people in Hollywood and beyond. Some sources say that when he died in 1991, his net worth was $40 million today. Based on the lasting effects of his work and the continued earnings from syndication and home media sales, it is thought that if he were still alive today, his wealth could have been over $100 million. Landon became famous for playing Joseph Little Joe Cartwright in Bonanza, a Western drama that ran from 1959 to 1973. His role as the youngest Cartwright son made him a household name, and Bonanza was one of the longest-running and most-watched TV shows of its time, and Landon's charm and charisma made him a star. After Bonanza, Landon played another role that would define his career, Charles Les in Little House on the Prairie, which ran from 1974 to 1983 and was based on the books by Laura Ingalls Wilder. The show followed the struggles and successes of the Ingalls family in the late 1800s, and Landon was both an actor and director on it. As the loving and hardworking father, Landon helped make it a heartfelt family-friendly show that is still popular through reruns and streaming services. People really liked Charles Les, and he was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Television Series Drama in 1979. Landon continued his run of successful TV shows with Highway to Heaven, which ran from 1984 to 1989. In that show, he played Jonathan Smith, an angel sent to Earth to help people in need. The show's positive themes and moral lessons made it a hit with viewers, further solidifying Landon's reputation as an actor who brought warmth and sincerity to his roles. Landon was also a talented writer, producer, and director. He wrote and directed many episodes of the shows he starred in, showing a deep understanding of storytelling and character development. His ability to create compelling, emotionally rich stories made him one of the most influential figures in television during his time. Michael Landon's popularity went beyond his work on screen. He was on the cover of TV Guide 22 times, a record only topped by Lucille Ball. His presence in popular culture was because of his many contributions to the entertainment industry. He was given a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1984. Sadly, Landon was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in April 1991. Despite his illness, he kept the public informed about his journey. He died on July 1, 1991, at the age of 54, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire actors, directors, and TV fans today. Many people still love Michael Landon's work after he died. His roles in Bonanza, Little House on the Prairie, and Highway to Heaven are still praised by viewers of all ages. His storytelling, acting, and contributions to television will have an impact for years to come. Michael Landon was born to Peggy and Eugene Uwitz. His mother was Roman Catholic and his father was Jewish, giving him a mixed religious and cultural background. He had an older sister named Evelyn. Born in 1933, Landon grew up in a home that was influenced by both Jewish and Catholic beliefs. When he was 4 years old, his family moved from New York to Coleswood, New Jersey. As he grew up in this suburban area, he went to Temple Beth Shalom in Cherry Hill, where he learned about Jewish teachings and culture. Despite being exposed to religious traditions, Landon also had personal problems, especially with his mother. Accounts from his later years suggest that his mother suffered from emotional during his formative years. Landon developed a passion for athletics that became a big part of who he was. At Coleswood High School, he did exceptionally well in sports, especially track and field, and became famous for his amazing skill in the javelin throw. In 1954, he set a school record for the longest javelin throw, which earned him an athletic scholarship to the University of Southern California, USC. His future looked bright in the world of athletics, but unfortunately, he had to quit college sports after tearing ligaments in his shoulder, which meant he could no longer compete at the collegiate level. He also lost his scholarship and had to rethink his future. Landon became interested in show business even though he had no formal training or experience in acting. In the beginning of his career, he did odd jobs to make money, like working as a gas station attendant. His luck changed when he was discovered. While Landon was working at a gas station near the Warner Brothers studio, local talent agent Bob Raisin saw something special in him and helped him take his first steps into Hollywood. With his good looks, charm, and natural talent, Landon began auditioning for roles and quickly gained attention in the entertainment industry. He changed his name to Michael Landon, which was the start of a new chapter in his life. His early career consisted of small TV roles and minor film appearances, but he stayed true to himself. Landon worked hard to become a serious actor, and in 1957 he got the lead role in the low-budget horror movie I Was a Teenage Werewolf. The movie became a cult classic, and it caught the attention of casting directors. This big break led to more opportunities, such as guest roles on several TV shows. But it was in 1959 that Landon got the role that would define his early career, Little Joe Cartwright in the TV show Bonanza. Running for 14 seasons, Bonanza became one of the most popular Western dramas in TV history, and Landon became a household name as the charming and kind-hearted youngest Cartwright son. He became an important part of the show as an actor, but also as a writer and director in later seasons. After his success on Bonanza, Landon solidified his place in television history with two more iconic roles: Charles Less in Little House on the Prairie and Jonathan Smith in Highway to Heaven. He was known for playing caring father figures that connected with people of all ages. His ability to make his characters seem real and warm contributed to his lasting impact on American television. Landon's early career included small, often uncredited roles in TV shows, but he quickly made a name for himself with his striking presence and talent. In 1956, he got his first lead role in an episode of the anthology series Telephone Time called The Mystery of Caspar Hauser. He played the title character in his first movie, which showed that he could play complicated characters and bring them to life. After his debut, Landon continued to rise in Hollywood and got a big break in the 1957 horror movie I Was a Teenage Werewolf, which became a cult classic and showed how good he was at playing intensely emotional roles. This movie helped him become more well-known and established his potential as a leading man. Over the next few years, he had parts in a number of movies. Marabo, 1958, High School Confidential, 1958, God's Little Acre, 1958, and The Legend of Tom Dooley, 1959, are just a few of the movies Landon was in during this time. He was also a familiar face on TV, appearing in many popular shows at the time. He had guest roles in westerns, dramas, and anthologies, which helped him improve his craft and gain valuable experience. Some of the most famous TV shows he was in during this time were Crossroads and The Restless Gun, whose pilot episode aired on Schlitz Playhouse of Stars. Sheriff of Kuchai's Crusader Frontier, Dr. the Rifleman, The Adventures of Jim Bowie, Johnny Staccato, Wire Service, General Electric Theater, The Court of Last Resort State, Trooper Tales of Wells, Fargo, The Texan, The Tall Man, Tombstone Territory, and Wanted Dead or Alive were some of the roles Landon played. He also made several appearances on Zane Gay Theater, a popular Western anthology series produced by Dick Powell. As well as acting, Landon tried his hand at music. In 1957, he released a single called Give Me a Little Kiss Will Yahuwah, followed up with Be Patient With Me. While it didn't do very well on the music charts, it showed that he was open to trying new things as an artist. A few years later, in 1964, he released another single called Linda Is Lonesome With You. His musical career never achieved the same level of success as his acting career, but it added another dimension to his artistic legacy. In 1959, Michael Landon had a career-defining break when he was cast as Little Joe Cartwright in the Western TV show Bonanza, which followed the lives of the wealthy Cartwright family living on the Ponderosa Ranch in Nevada. Became one of the most popular and recognizable shows in television history. Notably, Bonanza was one of the first shows to be shown across the country in color, which added to its appeal from the start. With its interesting plots and strong ensemble cast, the show quickly became a hit, and by the mid-1960s, Bonanza had become a major force on American television. At its peak, it was the #1 show in the Nielsen ratings for 3 years in a row, from 1964 to 1967. The show had a great cast, with Lauren Green as Ben Cartwright, Pernell Roberts as Adam Cartwright, and Dan Blocker as Hose Cartwright, but Michael Landon was the show's breakout star. His role as the charming and lively Little Joe won over viewers, making him one of the Landon got more fan mail than any other cast member, which shows how popular he was. As his fame grew, Landon used his position on the show to try new creative things. He negotiated opportunities to write and direct episodes of Bonanza, showing off his skills beyond acting. Some of his most notable contributions to the show were some of its most touching and well-reviewed episodes, like Forever, a 2-hour wedding episode that became one of his ability to combine emotional depth with compelling storytelling, helped establish Bonanza as more than just a typical Western series. Landon's dedication to Bonanza was clear in his long-term commitment to the series. Along with co-stars Lauren Green and Victor Sen-Young, he was one of only 3 actors to appear in all 14 seasons of the show. During Bonanza's impressive run from 1959 to 1973, Landon appeared in 428 of its 431 episodes. There were many episodes of him on Bonanza, which showed how popular he was and how important he was to making the show what it was. Despite its huge success, Bonanza eventually lost viewers as people's tastes in TV changed. By the early 1970s, the show's ratings had dropped, and NBC had to make the hard decision to cancel it in November 1972. The last episode aired on January 16, 1973, marking the end of an era in television history, though the show lived on. Michael Landon's career continued to grow after Bonanza ended. His work on that show set the stage for later successes like Little House on the Prairie and Highway to Heaven, further solidifying his status as a television icon. In 1973, Landon was cast as Charles Less in the pilot of NBC Little House on the Prairie, which was based on the Little House book series by Laura Ingalls Wilder. The books, which were about Wilder's childhood in the late 1800s American Midwest, had been cherished for a long time. Readers loved the show's adaptation for TV because it brought historical stories to life in a heartfelt, family-friendly way. Landon, who was both the lead actor and a major creative force behind the show, helped shape its direction, making sure it stayed true to the spirit of Wilder's books while also exploring modern themes that resonated with viewers. The pilot aired in 1974 and was well received, which led NBC to order a full series of Little House on the Prairie. The show, which was set in the small Minnesota town of Walnut Grove and followed the Ingalls family as they dealt with the ups and downs of pioneer life, quickly became a fan favorite. Landon's performance as Charles Less, a loving and hardworking father, really struck a chord with viewers, as did his chemistry with Karen Grassel, who played his wife Caroline, and with the young actresses who played his daughters, especially Melissa Gilbert as Laura Ingalls. Landon was involved in many aspects of the show behind the scenes, including being its executive producer, director, and writer. His creative influence could be seen in the way it told stories that balanced heartwarming family moments with tough social issues like poverty, discrimination, illness, and personal loss. Under his direction, Little House on the Prairie went from being a nostalgic period drama to a series that made people think about issues like these. For 8 seasons, Little House on the Prairie told compelling stories about real-life struggles. However, by 1982, the show had changed a lot. To try to make it last longer, ABC renamed it Little House, A New Beginning, and the focus shifted from the Ingalls family to Laura and her husband Almanzo Wilder, played by Dean Butler. This was mostly because key cast members like Karen Grassel had left, and the stories had changed to put more emphasis on Laura and her husband. Despite staying involved as the show's executive producer, director, and writer, Landon chose not to continue playing Charles Less in A New Beginning. His absence marked a big change from the original series, and even though the rebranded show tried to bring in new storylines and characters, it struggled to keep up the same level of success. In the end, Little House: A New Beginning was the last episode of the Little House on the Prairie franchise. In 1983, Michael Landon was in 187 of the show's 204 episodes, solidifying his role as the show's heart and soul. His work on and off-screen made Little House on the Prairie one of the most enduring and beloved family dramas in TV history. Even after the show ended, fans still held it in a special place in their hearts. Reruns, DVDs, and streaming services have helped new generations discover the show, keeping Landon's legacy alive. Little House on the Prairie not only entertained viewers, but it also taught lessons about love, morality, and sticking with something you believe in that are still important decades later. After Little House on the Prairie ended in 1983, Michael Landon started a new project that would once again show off his acting, writing, directing, and producing skills. In 1984, he created the NBC drama Highway to Heaven, which was about faith, redemption, and kindness, and he played the lead role of Jonathan Smith. The show's boss, who was a reference to God, told him what to do and gave him help from his human companion Mark Gordon, played by Victor French, who had previously co-starred with Landon on Little House on the Prairie. As with his other TV hits, Landon played a key creative role in Highway to Heaven, serving as the show's executive producer, head writer, and director. The show focused on happy and emotional stories that emphasized each episode followed Jonathan and Mark as they traveled across the country, meeting people who were having hard times and helping them get through it through acts of kindness and divine intervention. Highway to Heaven was a huge hit with viewers because of its positive and moral themes. Unlike many shows of the time, it didn't rely on action or heavy drama, but instead showed how love and humanity could change people's lives. Landon's natural warmth and friendliness also played a big role. Jonathan Smith's sincerity on screen made the show more appealing, and his chemistry with Victor French made the friendship between their characters one of the most loved parts of the show. Highway to Heaven ran for 5 seasons and 111 episodes before ending in 1989. It was the only TV show that Landon owned outright, which gave him full creative control and let him keep the show's original vision without network interference, making sure that the heartwarming, and even though it ended, Highway to Heaven is still a beloved show among fans and is often seen again in syndication and on streaming services. In addition to his work on Highway to Heaven, Landon also made movies during this time. In 1984, he wrote, directed, and released Sam's Son, a coming-of-age movie that was loosely based on his own childhood. It showed the struggles and hopes of a young boy navigating adolescence while dealing with, even though it didn't do very well at the box office. Sam's Son was a very personal project for Landon because it was based on his own experiences and memories from his childhood. That same year, Landon also made a short but memorable appearance on the game show World when he was a celebrity panelist during the premiere week of Match Game on CBS. This showed people his charismatic and fun-loving personality in a way that wasn't just shown in his dramatic TV roles. Throughout the 1980s, Michael Landon continued to show he was very versatile in the entertainment business. Whether he was playing an angel in Highway to Heaven, telling a deeply personal story in Sam's Son, or making funny TV appearances, he was always a loved and influential figure. His ability to create and lead heartfelt, inspirational programming cemented his reputation as not only a skilled actor, but also a visionary storyteller dedicated to bringing meaningful stories to audiences around the world. What do you think about Michael Landon? Leave your thoughts in the area below. We hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.